ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. Now we will see the meaning of the namas in the 30th verse of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama based on Shri Shankaracharya Bhashya. Now we will see the verse. ओजस्तेजोद्युतिधरः प्रकाशात्मा प्रतापनः ऋद्धः स्पष्टाक्षरो मन्त्रश्चन्द्रांशुर्भास्करद्युतिः. The terms that are there in this verse are Ojastejodhyutidharaha, Prakashatma, Pratapanaha, Riddhaha, Spashtaksharaha, Mantraha, Chandramshuhu, Bhaskaradyutihi. So there are 8 terms in this mantra. Let's now see the meanings of each of these terms. The first term is Ojastejodhyutidharaha. Ojaha pranabalam, Tejaha shauryaadayaha gunaha, Dyutihi deeptihi, Taha dharayatiti. Ojas refers to vital energy, prana. Tejas refers to valor and such other virtues. Dyuti is glow, the shining nature, the one who holds dharayati, who is endowed with all these shining, virtuous, kalyana gunas, noble virtues, great attributes like ojas, tejas, and deepti. So, such Paramatman who is the residing place of Ananta Kalyana Gunas, he is celebrated by this term Ojas Tejo Dyutidharaha. So there is another way of interpretation that is presented by Acharya. He says Athava Ojas Tejah iti namadvayam, or Ojas and Tejas can be considered as two names, Balam, Balavatam Chaham. So Ojaha means Balam. Previously in the commentary we saw Ojaha, Prana Balam. So in the Bhagavad Gita we see the Bhagavan in his Vibhuti Yoga, we see Balam is a Vibhuti of Paramatman. So Ojaha, which is nothing but the Balam. Balam, Prana Balam is the real Balam. So Paramatman is the Prana Bala in all powerful entities. So based on that, Ojaha itself is a Nama for Paramatman. So Ojas itself is a Nama of Paramatman, indicating the prana bala, the energy or the strength that we derive from the prana. And tejaha, tejas, tejasvinamaham, and shaurya, shauryadi gunaha. Tejaha was defined or described in the commentary previously as shauryadayaha gunaha. So various qualities such as shauryam, tejaha, dhritihi, dakshyam, all such qualities that indicate valor. So that is also Paramatman as presented in this verse in Bhagavad Gita. I am also Tejas, as Paramatman presents himself as Balam, which is Ojas, another vibhuti of Paramatman in us, which manifests as Tejas, valor, courage, dhairya. All these are also Paramatman. So Ojas is Paramatman and Tejas is also Paramatman. So this is based on the Bhagavad Gita statement as presented by Acharya. So Ojaha, Tejaha, and then Dyutidharaha is a separate term. Dyutihi Jnanalakshanam Deeptim Dharayati iti Dyutidharaha. Dyuti refers to the glow of knowledge, the one who holds it, or the one who is endowed with the Jnana Prakasha, the light of knowledge, light of the pure consciousness. So that is the meaning of the term Dyuti Dhara. Dyuti is light. Light indicates the light of knowledge, the light of pure consciousness, and then the one who is endowed with that jnanam in the form of the pure knowledge of consciousness. So that is conveyed by the term Dyutidharaha. Hence, the term Ojas Tejo Dyutidharaha can be seen as a single term or in three parts: Ojaha, Tejaha, and Dyutidharaha. The second term is Prakashatma. Prakashaswarupaha Atma Yasya Saha. The one whose self or the one whose form is of the nature of light. So in various terms previously also. So just previously Dyutidharaha, and in the 27th verse or 28th verse we saw Prakashanaha. So Paramatman is in the form of the pure light of knowledge. So that is presented by the term Prakashatma. Pratapanaha is the third term. Savitradibhihi vibhutibhihi Vishwam Pratapayatiti. The one who scorches the world in the form of sun, etc. So the sun tapayati, prakarshena tapayati. So tapanam refers to scorching. Prakarshena, in a great way, the sun scorches the earth. The light, the sun gives light and energy. At the same time, it scorches the earth and it absorbs the water. Why does it do? Why does it scorch and absorb the water? So that it can be given back in the form of rains. As in Raghuvamsha, Kalidasa would say, Sahasra gunam utsrashtum adattehi rasam ravihi. The sun scorches and takes the rasa or the water from the earth. Why does he do that? Only to shower it back on the earth in thousand-fold, in thousand times more in the form of rains. He absorbs the rasa. Similarly, in the form of the Savita or the Surya, the Paramatman scorches the earth to only grant more in the form of blessings. So, in the form of rains. So, the devotees, if they prepare themselves, if they discipline themselves more and more by tapas, which is indicated by the term tapana, tapas, by disciplining oneself, by scorching off all the impurities by the Vedic, Vedantic and yogic teachings. If they scorch themselves, then the shower of blessings is certain to descend from the Paramatman. So that is indicated by, that idea is indicated by the term Pratapanaha. The fourth term is riddhaha. Dharma jnana vairagyadibhihi upetatvat riddhaha. The one who is adorned by virtue, knowledge, dispassion, etc. And hence he is rich. Riddha generally means a one who is full of resources, full of wealth. So he is termed generally as Riddha. So what is the wealth of Paramatman that is described here? Acharya says Dharma. The Paramatman is rich with qualities such as Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya and Aishwarya. So these are the wealths by which the Paramatman is Riddha, wealthy. The next term is Spashtaksharaha. Spashtam Udattam Onkara Lakshanam Asyeti. The one who is characterized, who is denoted by the clear, venerated Onkara. He is Spashtakshara. Spashta here is so there are two components in the term spashta and akshara, and spashta is explained by Acharya as udatta, the venerated, the most respected, spashta, and which is very clear in its idea, or which indicates the Paramatman. So spashta is udatta or noble and clear and venerated and respected, and akshara here refers to what is that venerated letter or venerated syllable that indicates the Paramatman? Onkara. Akshara here is Onkara. So Spashtakshara in essence means the respectable Akshara, the one who is denoted by the venerated Akshara, the venerated Pranava. He is Spashtakshara Paramatman. In the Yoga Sutra, we see Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. So Pranava is the term or the syllable or the Akshara that denotes the Paramatman. So by that, this explains the term Spashtakshara. The sixth term is Mantraha. There are a couple of interpretations here. The first one is Rigyajus Samalakshanaha Mantraha. The one who is in the form of the Rigyajus Sama mantras is mantra. Previously also in the context of the term Mahaswanaha, Shruti Sagaraha, in those terms, in explanation of those terms, we saw as to how Paramatman is the repository of the mantras, and the great Vedic mantras, they emerge from the Paramatman. And so, and Vagmi is another term that indicates the great Vak, great speech in the form of mantras. They emerge from the Paramatman and they are not different from Paramatman. So Paramatman is here celebrated as Mantra Swarupa. So he is Mantraha. The next one, the next interpretation to this is Mantra Bodhyatvadva Mantraha. The one who is known through the mantras. So by chanting the mantras and also reflecting upon the meaning of the mantras, the one who is understood, he is mantra. So the one who is known through the mantras. Previously, in the previous term, Spashtakshara was given, which means Onkara is the mantra. Yoga Sutra says, Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. The syllable or the denoting term for the Paramatman is Pranava. Then what should be done with that Pranava? Tajjapaha tadartha bhavanam. The repetition of Pranava has to be done and the meaning of it has to be reflected upon, meditated upon, contemplated upon. So mantra is there and the mantra is Onkara, or the Rigvedic, Yajurvedic, Samavedic mantras are there. Those mantras are to be chanted, and then the meaning of it has to be reflected upon. The meaning that emerges is nothing but the Paramatman. So they all the mantras, the in the form of speech is Paramatman, and the meaning that is conveyed by the mantras are also Paramatman, or Paramatman is the one who is to be known through the recitation and the study and understanding of the mantras, especially even the Upanishadic mantras, which especially speak about the Jivatma, Paramatma, Vedantic ideas. So, mantra bodhya can also be taken as Upanishan Mantra Bodhya, the one who is very clearly taught to us by the Upanishadic mantras. The nature of the Paramatman is taught to us by the Upanishadic mantras. Hence, Paramatma is mantraha. The next term is Chandramshuh. संसारताप तिग्मांशुतापतापितचेतसाम् चन्द्रांशुरिवाह्लादकरत्वात्. The one who is like the pleasant moon rays to those whose minds are tormented by the scorching rays of the sun in the form of worldly sufferings. So it's a beautiful commentary that we see here. The Paramatman is Chandramshu. Chandramshu is moonlight, the gentle, cool moon rays. The Paramatman is such to whom, so the meditation upon the Paramatman, singing the glory of the Paramatman, or the repeating of the names of Paramatman is like the touch of the cool, gentle moon rays. To whom? To those who are suffering, who are afflicted, who are tormented by the worldly transactions and the resultant consequences and sufferings. So this samsara, the worldly life, worldly transaction leads to lot of tapa, santapa, paritapa, great suffering, sorrow, worry, anxiety, and to overcome that intense scorching sun ray like worldly sufferings, what is the moon rays that gives solace? It is the Paramatman. It is the singing of the glory of the Paramatman. It is the meditation upon the form of Paramatman, or the repeating of the Nama of the Paramatman. Previously, Paramatma was described, Lord Narayana was described as Mantraha, and such other terms, spashtaksharaha. So those terms indicate that by pronouncing them, we can feel the cool moonlight of the blessings of Paramatman. Hence, this term Chandramshu, which is moonlight, is an indicator of the blessings of Paramatman. Then the eighth term is Bhaskaradyutihi. Bhaskaradyuti sadharmyat. The one whose brilliant glow is similar to that of the sun's rays or sun's glow. Though, so the term here has two components, Bhaskara and Dyuti. Dyuti is light or glow. Bhaskara refers to the sun. So the one who has the brilliant glow, which is comparable or which is similar to that of the glow of the sun. Previously, the Paramatman's nature was described as Chandramshu, the cool rays of the moon. He is also, though he is the cool rays of the moon, his brilliance matches or exceeds, or he is even the source of the light of the sun. His greatness is again brought about by this term Bhaskara Dyuti. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. So though it is described that the brilliance of the glow of Paramatman is similar to that of the sunlight, the Upanishads glorify or point out that even the sun, stars, moon, and other sources of light derive their light by or from the light of the Paramatman, which is pure consciousness. So that glorious nature of Paramatman is indicated by the term Bhaskaradyutihi. So with these 8 namas in 30th verse, we have thus far completed 283 namas. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu.